Welcome, welcome, welcome. Oh my gosh, who do we have here on the Conversate and Elevate segments? As you listeners know, and those who may be new, you may not know, the SeekELLAvation Empowercast is 15-minute empowerment segments. We delve on so many various topics. I am in so many industries, but very three specific industries that I'm in is sports, entertainment, and business. And I take different things from those industries to spew them in to empower you in life, professionally and personally. And with the Conversate and Elevate segments, we're now taking that and we're expanding. We're bringing people in who have that real life experience. We're going to bring people who have knocked down doors, and we bring people in who are trying to knock down doors. So it will touch all listeners. Someplace, somehow in your space, you will relate and resonate with someone that you're listening to, or you'll be able to get some information that can help you to move forward. So who we have today, the amazing, incomparable Shaun Mathis. I am like, when I met Shaun, it's been some time now. I have lost track of time with this whole pandemic situation. I've talked to people and I'm like, it's been 3 years since what? It's been 2 years since what? So it's been some time, but that's one thing he hasn't let stop him. This is a gentleman that, first of all, when we talk about, started as a writer, well, an author, when I say writer, writing books and things like that, going into film, but very diverse in that. This is not someone you could just put in one lane, this cookie cutter, so diverse in what he does when we're talking about film, from theater to TV production stuff, does amazing things with nonprofit, does amazing things with individuals that are into writing, into film, and we'll get into all of that, but have won many awards. Oh my gosh, you're way up above over 30 something films, right? I mean, and then have accumulated,
yeah.
yes,
We did
have
26 films in 2020. So.
and just in that year alone, that's what it just in that year alone have accumulated millions and millions of views on different platforms for different projects. But we will get all into that. I just want to say welcome. Thank you so much. I'm sure the listeners will be just as appreciative as I am, whatever seeds that are sown. The one thing I tell people is we have our gifts to impact and influence the world, but planting those seeds, they continue to grow well past when we're gone. Our name continues to be spoken depending on what we feed. So thank you so much with planting a seed in this garden for people to continue to grow. So let's just start with Shaun, man. Let's just, we're gonna go back a little bit before we go here. Just go back when you think of Shaun, and the question people usually ask, what would you tell your younger self? No.
Huh.
I want to ask you, what would your younger self confirm to you right now when you look all the way back? What would your younger self turn around and say? What would that be?
I think I think my younger self would tell me, "You good, bro? Everything's gonna be all right." Like,
Absolutely.
like for real. Like, I think that's what he would tell me. Be like, "Bro, we good."
I agree. I was thinking about that to myself. I had a reverse thought pattern on that. And one of the things I thought to myself was my younger self would say, wow, everything that we're going through right now that you're saying you do not want to go through, you're going to appreciate you went through this because it's developing the characteristics, all that you need for what you're about to do. So let's enjoy what we're going through right now. Let's just take it in. You're good. You're good. So I agree with you. All right. So your younger self will tell you you're good. So now let's go back. Kind of walk me through coming up, because you started what 2013, is that correct?
I started in film, yes, 2013,
And
official.
film. Okay, so let's back up before we even get to film. Let's talk about how you even started, because that was in what platform was you using when you got into this creative, you know mode of spewing your gift?
Um, it was a while. It was like 24. I went through these stages. So like film was like the third stage of my creative process.
Mm.
I started out like when I was 13, 14. I was put into a foster home. And the young man that I was in a foster home with was his name was Quincy. He was 17. He had this rap group, and they were rapping and writing and performing, and they were like local celebrities. And just so I could like hang out with him, I taught myself how to rap. I would taught myself how to write and then how to rap. So
What?
for a very long time, I was pursuing a music career for a
Mm,
very long time. Like
mm,
I did have some friends that got signed. Booker Fair got signed to Koch Records back in like 2006, like right after Ballin came out or something like that. I don't remember the exact date.
mhm.
But so for a long time, I pursued music. I didn't want to be a rapper. I wanted to be a writer. I wanted to write for artists. I didn't really want the limelight. So as I got older, I realized, okay, I don't like that attention. I don't want that. So let me go ahead and transition into writing books. I had wrote books throughout the time I was rapping, but it wasn't really like a thing. It was just like a hobby for me. And I was working a job, making good money, and just had the story in my head. And I had met a woman. So I used to work in a gallery mall downtown Philly, and there was an independent black bookstore around the corner from the store that I managed. So, author by the name of Vicky Stringer, she's like the CEO of Triple Crown Publications. They put out a lot of like black books. Um, and she was there, and I went and talked to her. I said, "Hey, I want to like write this book, and I want to put it out." I said, "I don't know where to start." And she had showed me her book. It was called "Surviving the Publishing Game." So I bought her book. I read her book cover to cover like twice, and I was like, okay, that's what I learned, that it's creative and it's business.
Mm.
So I started a publishing company first, wrote the book. I got offers from Penguin and Ingram, who was really big at the time. But reading those contracts and those advances and those numbers, I was like, I'm good. So I self-published. And this was before Instagram. This is before like Facebook was popping, like self-published. So like I found a company to print the books. I found someone to do the cover art. I found someone to edit the books. Then I had a book shipped in. And then every weekend I was in a different city pushing my books. I was either at a film. I was either at a book fair, or I was at speaking at a book club, and I was hustling on my books. So for a whole year, I went from Maine to Florida selling books, selling my books. I made 100K my first year, my first time out.
But see, look
So,
what you're talking about. And put the pin. I want, wait, no, we cannot skim over this. This is important for people in any industry, really important for people in our community. It's important for anybody, but really for people in our community to get this. You just said you understood the creative side, but then you start to have to understand the business.
mhm.
This is one of the things that is a major struggle. I don't care if it's the rap artist, you learn for yourself that you didn't want to be the rapper, the rap artist, the writer, the whoever. Sometimes we jump in for the fame, or we jump in because we see people's results and we
Mhm.
say we just want that result. We see the glory, we want the glory, and we really don't understand the story. And then when people start to tell you what you need to do, it's kind of shunning away from it. But when you just drop that 100,000 K, that wasn't just because you had this gift. And I'm just going to jump out there. Listen to all the stuff you said that you have to do. How did you have that in you, though, to say, I see there's business? A lot of people see it, but you stepped out and took the initiative to pretty much be your team. Like, what is that in you that made you do that?
It's my alter ego. Like, so, I tell people that I have an alter ego, and historically, the alter ego is like a bad thing. But my alter ego pushes me, he challenges me. My alter ego is a dude from LA Compton that be like, "Here, what you gonna do? Can you do it? You won't do it?
Yes.
You do it, then you know what I'm saying?" So I hear that in my head all the time. When I think about I want something to do, this guy comes out like, "What you gonna do? You know what I'm saying? You won't stop? Oh, it's getting rough." Like, you know what I'm saying? You sold 5 books today. You going out tomorrow? So I have this person in me, seriously, like I have this alter ego in me that challenges me and pushes me to do what I do. And I ain't no bitch. So I'm like, yeah, I
Right.
can do it. Yeah, I'm going to. I sold 5 books today. I'm gonna sell 7 books tomorrow. So it's me. I don't know where it comes from. I
Okay.
legit don't. It's just there, and I listen.
Wow. so many tell me all this time, I can solve a lot sitting with my clients and say, listen, you're going to have to create and find or dig or wake up that alter ego, because
You know,
it is take something.
it's different for everybody, right?
It is.
So like some people, like if you've never, like if you didn't have a family that supported you, your drive might come from proving them wrong or receiving their love through success. So everybody's thing is going to be different based on what they've experienced, you know. So for me, it's an alter ego. For someone else, it can be trauma. For someone else, it could be that they were supported their whole life.
Right.
Well, like my daughter is an artist, and she wanted to draw, and I was seeing some of her drawing, so we put her in an art school.
Mm-hmm.
I'm nurturing that. I'm buying the supplies. I'm doing stuff like that so she can become successful. So for everybody, it's going to be different, and for me, that's just what it is. I don't know where that guy came from, but we're best friends.
Listen, and it is fine, whatever it is. My thing is, I just want people to find what it is.
Yeah,
I want people to understand, especially as creatives. I understand you have the gift to create, but that's not where it stops. And yes, I get it too. You don't want to just focus on the business. You want to get to a point where you can hire a team. But until you do, please understand that there is always a business side in everything that you do. And we have this gift, but we have to make sure we take care of the business side. So let's talk about it. You took those, let's continue. You took those steps. You understand the business. You understood the hustle. You did what you did. You got your 100,000 K. That was how you started. Now talk about that transition. What did that look like now that you came to this point?
So the tradition was, so mind you, I'm still working this job. I'm selling these books. I'm in Philly, right? So I'm still like riding the bus and the train. Didn't really need a car. So I'm on the bus with my headphones on, going to work. And I heard Drake's Successful came on my iPod at the time. Not the iPhone.
Yes.
The iPhone wasn't even out yet. Like this is like 2007 going into 2008.
I'm about to say 2008. Yes, so I guess 2008.
So I had an iPod. So I'm listening to Drake Successful on my iPod.
Yes.
Drake was a new artist. And those words, I was writing my third book at the time, and I just kept seeing this book in my head as a movie opening. And I said, okay, the universe must want me to write movies. I said, well, let me finish this book first. And when I write, I zone out for however long I'm in, and I come out, and you know, what's there is there. So when I was doing that for this third book, I would zone out, write, come to, and it's like broken script form. Like, how the hell did I do that? So it was a struggle. I had to really fight myself to finish the book just so I can make the transition into script writing, because I'm like, all right, the universe is pushing me here, but I always finish what I start. So I said, I got to finish this book and then do this. I finished the book, didn't even put it out, just finished it. And I told my friend Ben, who was living in Georgia, I said, hey man, I'm gonna move to LA. He was like, for what? I said, man, I'm gonna write movies. He was like, come to Atlanta. I was like, Atlanta? What the hell's going on in Atlanta? And he sends me this link of like a bunch of stuff that was being shot in Atlanta. I'm like, nah, I'm still going to LA. And he said the most profound thing to me that I never forget. He said, LA is the NBA. Everywhere else is college. Go somewhere and play college ball and get drafted to the NBA. Ooh. And I came to Atlanta. I started playing college ball.
A whole
that's how I got here. And all that happened within like 4 months.
A whole world. But the
decision to move to Atlanta.
Yes.
Making the decision to the move was 4 months.
But my thing is, what I hear in that is there you listened to how the universe conspired for you. Sometimes we get this, it's these nudges. We want it to look like how we think it's supposed to look like based on narratives, right? When we're talking about, you know, believing in a higher power, believing in whatever you want to call it. It's like, it's going to be done for me. No, it's these things that is in your head, in your heart to move, things that you look and you're like, oh, confirmations. You may think this, somebody said that. It's moving in so many ways, but you listen to, because you could have been like, what is that thought?
Right.
That's crazy. Not only did you listen to it and you came up to some bumps. Like, this is crazy. It even looks crazy, but you pushed through that. So yeah, it was from here to here that you jumped. That alter ego, that what you got going on, continue to push you to jump. So you went to college, you came into Atlanta. So is this where you kind of really got away from the writing, or?
I got away from the novel writing for a while. I just wanted to focus on film. So I started
Okay.
reading books, taking Shonda Rhimes' master class, Quentin Tarantino's master class, Aaron Spelling for dialogue, just going online, educating myself. I didn't have the time or the money to go back to school. I had a child at the time, right?
Mm.
So that I had custody of. So it's like, okay, I gotta work, take care of her, but I gotta figure this craft out too. So I took a bunch of classes like online, all the free stuff that I could find, and all these books. And then I interned with Sharon Tomlinson over at Studio 11 Films and got some hands-on instruction there. From there, I thrived. Like I didn't, she pulled me out of the program because I was so good to like work with her on other things. So I never even finished the program. She's like saw it, recognized it, pulled me out.
And who was this again?
Sharon Tomlinson.
Sharon
Yeah,
Tomlinson.
she did a movie called Skin with Lisa Ray a few years
Ah,
ago.
yeah, yeah.
Actually, tonight she has her last movie. Sadly, she passed. I think last year or the year before last, she lost her battle with cancer. But the last film she finished premieres tonight on BET. So yeah, she gave me like my first start writing, and from there I had this idea I wanted to do this web series,
Mm.
and I bring the idea to Sharon. She's like, "That's not going to work." I'm the last person you want to tell no to.
Listen,
I'm also
they ain't
because
got that by now.
I'm also relentless and fearless. I'll just do it. I've been poor. I've been broke. I've had money. I know how to get it. So I'm 100%. I'm relentless and fearless. Fuck it, let's do it. I'm gonna. Okay, you don't see it. I'm gonna do it. So I realized that okay, I need a team of people. Like I can't do all this stuff. So it was like a year and a half, maybe 2 years of this process. Now I got the writing down. Now I got to learn the ins and outs of production, what those cost, how to manage people, how to talk to people, educate myself on the jargon. So I was jumping on every set that I could, listening and soaking up stuff. Okay, that means that. And all these military terms on set. Okay, copy that, 10-1, da
Mm.
da da da. And once I felt comfortable, I hired a crew, shot my first web series, and then the editor on it, Justin, him and I decided to form a partnership together.
Yeah. And that was is that Laconic
That was Laconic Productions.
production? But before I get there, hold on. Another teachable moment. Nuggets, as those who are listening and or watching. Let's back up because now you talked about the business. We got away from there. You transitioned, you continue to move, but you recognize another element now, education. Like you said, the gentleman told you, okay, LA is the NBA and everything else is college, but literally it is. You went and you took whatever resources were available to you. Mind you, I don't know if you guys caught this as a single dad.
Mhm, mhm.
Listen, we always hear the stories one sided when it comes to all that. We're talking about a single father who also found out. So you did this. You understand as a single father, I have limited resources. I got to move the way I need to move. But one thing that I do have is the ability to search and find things that are free
Mhm.
or at least I can afford. And you did
Yep,
that to
affordable.
learn affordable and you learn grab before you jumped out there
Right.
to feel comfortable enough to do it. And I guess that could be a thing too. Some people do stuff so long, like they want to feel a certain thing that kind of paralyzes them. It's almost like analysis of paralysis. So you want to find it where you're taking the time to educate and learn, but also how do you say, all right, I got it. Now I'm a jump and leap. So now you felt you got it, whatever your comfort was, you jump leap, web series, you got you a partner. You said that's Laconic
Yep.
Productions. Okay, so what does that all look like? You found you a partner. Did you really continue to focus on the business aspect, or you just still had to just say, you know what, this is my homie or somebody I learned. We're just gonna take this and go. What does that all look like?
No, I delve deeper into the business aspect. So
Okay.
50 business and creative, right? Because it's show business, emphasis on business, right? So when Justin and I filmed a partnership together, we said, okay, what is this company? What do we want to accomplish? What does it look like? Creative wise, I want it to be Tyler Perry just with better content.
Okay.
In the sense of he puts out so much, it's so consistent. It's
Okay.
so consistent. And the more consistent you are, you can build an audience faster,
Yeah.
more loyal, because you hitting them, you hitting them, you hitting them. They can't forget you. And as someone starting out, I couldn't just put out a film here and a film here, you know, a year or two in between, because our industry is so fickle, right?
Okay.
Like once you have them, you got to hold them. So we said we were going to put out a lot of content consistently with an emphasis on quality, and we will position ourselves to be hired out so people can hire us to produce their content. That's for the business side. We
Okay.
also decided that we want to put up our own money.
Okay. No
So
investors. Not you want it
no
to be
investors,
completely owned. All
our own
right.
money. Justin wasn't working at the time, so it was a lot of my money.
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
but it was like, okay, so if I'm putting up my money, I gotta figure out how to get a return. Because again, I have a daughter.
Yes.
Then I had a lady in my life.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like they didn't ask to go on this ride, right? So it's like I have to make sure their life isn't interrupted. So how do I monetize or get a return off of my investment? So I spent a lot of time, and I still do a lot of time in the business part of it, because it has to make money. I knew that I wanted to quit my job eventually. So I had to like make plans for that. What did that look like? How much money do I need for rent and car and clothes and food? I'm a big sneakerhead. I would buy a pair of Jordans 2 or 3 times a month.
Oh, you need your money then, child.
Cut
Listen.
that. No, but no. I cut that out. It's okay. A pair of Jordans is $200. That's crafty for one day for set.
Yeah.
Right? Cut that out. And we like to eat out a lot. Like, so we was going to all these, you know, Shula's and steakhouses and getting sushi. Cut all that out, right? Stop buying clothes, right? I stopped spending money because I said I need to save X amount of money while still providing for the family and investing in the company. So I had to like really, I sacrificed everything. Like, and like, it's like none of that's going to get, those sneakers aren't going to get me to where I want to be. Right? Those clothes, that sushi roll that I really want ain't going to get me to where I want to be. So cut that shit out.
Cut it out, because once you get to wherever you want to be, you can have all that and not
Yeah,
have to even think twice
be
about
there.
it. It will always be there, and you can get it without having to think twice about it. And when you see me look down writing these notes, because I'm going through, as you talk about team, education, business, family, sacrifice, you're hitting all these points that I try to drill in, and you're just hitting them in your story. That's why it's no lie, right? So it's good to see someone that you really revere their work and what they're doing, but you have to understand the story. So wait, let's go back, because you said, like you said, with Tyler Perry, constantly putting stuff out. And you have to constantly put things out to build that fan base. You can't have that space, they disappear. But also, does that have to do with proof of concept simultaneously? Because I talk to my clients a lot about, if you want something out, the work that you got to do, especially we talk about, I just want Netflix as the platform. I want this as the platform. And we're going to talk about your strategy. And I'm like, see, listen, this is what I'm talking about, but we just want this platform. But wait, you have no proof of concept. Like, if I got to be able to go on some platforms to show there's consistency, to show there's engagement, to show that there's fans. So is that when you did that consistent thing about fan base, and what else? Like, what was that about? How did you use that?
So I'm like the worst marketer. I don't know. So we just put it out.
Just put it out. Is it because it was consistent and consistent quality is what drew them? You guys didn't have to do anything extra, but just consistent quality.
I think because like no one in my organization, no one with Laconic and no one with Anti-Hero, like we're just not, no one has that marketing brain. I've yet to find that person to bring onto the team. So we were like, focus on the quality, focus on the story, put it out outside of Facebook and Instagram, so all the advertising we do. But I'm certain that if we had some kind of marketing in place, I probably would have built my fan base faster. But then again, I'm also like, everything happens in time, or it happens the way it's supposed to happen. For some people, marketing does work. For me, luckily, to get to where I am, I didn't need it, but could I have needed it? Could I have used it? Absolutely. So again, don't say, oh, Shaun didn't market, so I'm not going to market. No, what I'm saying is what worked for me.
Absolutely.
That's just how it happened. right?
Absolutely.
But some things did happen that helped. So after Justin and I formed Laconic Productions,
Okay.
I got an invite to write and co-produce a movie for 2 Chainz and Bankroll Fresh.
All right.
So, quick story. I was a banker. I was a small business relationship manager. So, Alan Parks, who's one of the partners of Street Execs, 2 Chainz management company, will come into the bank all the time. And I'm handling all their money. So I got their phone number. So every time I shot something, I was sending the links, showing what I'm doing. I wanted to work with Street Execs. So I'm sending the links, sending the links, sending the links. And they'd walk into the bank, him, Carol, whoever, walk into the bank, do their banking, and not say a word about what I sent them. And I never brought it up because I figured they're in the bank for banking. I'll talk to them outside of that, right?
Okay.
So for a year, they never responded to anything. They never said anything about what I was sending them. And then they called me one day and said, we're shooting a film, we need your help. They could have called anybody in the world. This is 2 Chainz we're talking about. This is Bankroll Fresh we're talking about. They could have called anybody in the world, but I was consistently showing them what I was doing. And even though they didn't respond, they watched and they remembered. So when they had something, they called me. And doing that film definitely catapulted me in Atlanta. So that helped a lot.
Was the 2015 film or when was
it was called Take Over Your Track for
Mhm.
Bankroll Fresh's song. Yep.
Wow. So in that one, I hear patience. So you knew you had in your mind exactly, what it was, but you somehow knew how not to sabotage it, destroy it, make it whatever. You just knew patience, just do this. And then when the time came, they gave you a call. And so how did that go? How did that first project go in 2015?
It was dope. I learned a lot. Everybody on the team was dope. I went from there and worked on 2 of his music videos. Then I directed and helped co-write another film for 217, which was their producer. So for about a year or so, I worked with them on a lot of things.
That particular film, that was on what, YouTube, and it garnered millions of views, or what was that one?
Yeah, they put it on YouTube and World Star, but the biggest thing was they also took it to South by Southwest, and they got into South by Southwest. So every filmmaker knows what South by Southwest is major. So to have a film that I co-wrote and co-produced at South by Southwest, I was like, man.
That's huge. Every filmmaker, every entertainer, everybody what South by Southwest says to get it there. So is that what you so you got through your workings, got linked up? It's the right people, everything plays its role, right? Orchestrated. So you did your work, you put your time in, you end up with the right people, got South by Southwest, you had it out, that garnered so many views within itself. Now you said what, you went to 2017, a project with them, but you did something in 2016, didn't you?
I did. So after we Take Over Your Trap, they had sent me another script. It was called 12, I think, or something else. So it was literally like a 1-page explanation of what they wanted. So, all right. So I got to take that 1 page and turn it into 90 pages. So I write the script. I give it to Alan. He's like, I like it. I'm going to call everybody together for a table read, right? So we do a table read. 20 freaking people in there that had already casted it. We're all reading the script. And after the script is done, one guy, Tech, Chainz's manager, says, I don't like it. And then Alan said, yeah, I don't like it. It's not hood enough. But I'm not a street guy.
Yeah.
But I was around them enough to like learn the jargon. Like I learned what a Draco was, messing around with them. So, but I was hurt. I said, Alan, like you liked it enough to call everybody together. Now this guy says he didn't like it. Now you say you don't like it, so you don't have my back. And he shut the whole film down. I was hot. My girlfriend was working at the mall at the time. I drove to the mall because she was the only one that could calm me down. I was mad. Like it's a bull, right? So I go to her. She calms me down. I called my team. I called Justin and Jim. I told them what happened. Justin was like, fuck it, let's shoot it ourselves. And I was like, all right, let's shoot it ourselves. So so I went to Alan out of respect, even though they didn't want the film. I wrote it based off of their concept. So I said, well, let me take out all of their stuff, but let me go to him out of respect. I don't want to, mess up our relationship. Say, hey, Alan, you guys pass on this script. I'm going to use my own money. I'm going to shoot it. I want to use some of your artists. Is that okay? And he said, yeah, cool, go ahead. So I'm like, bet. 2 days before we start shooting, he calls me. He's like, oh, you can't use this scene. I said, well, you already gave me okay. Things are already in motion. And he was like, don't use the scene. And I was like, so what if I do? And he was like, don't cross street. And I knew what that was. So I said, okay. I went back, rewrote the scene, and we went into production. Wow. And we did the plug in 2016. Shout out to my executive producer, G. So another story. So like during that time, I'm still at the bank, and this guy walks in. His name is G. He works for Street Execs. I said, oh, I just did the Bankroll Fresh film. Da da da. And he was like, yeah, we're supposed to be doing 12, but they didn't like the script. And I was like, I wrote that script. He was like, what? So we're talking, and so I said, well, I'm shooting it myself, and we're like probably maybe a week out from production. And I said, oh yeah, I'm gonna shoot it myself. He says, word, like your own money? And I only had like $7 grand. I was trying to shoot a feature film with $7 grand, but we owned all our own equipment, so the cost was less. So G says, how much do you? He says, oh, I want to do it with you. How much you need? Mind you, I knew this guy for half an hour. He says, how much you need? I said, well, I already got 7,000 in. He was like, all right, I'll send you $7,000 tonight. So now our budget went from 7,000 to 15,000, and we shot the film.
Wow. So we heard already within there resiliency because of what absolutely happened, and then resourcefulness. You were very resourceful. You used what you had. You was going to use it before it was actually matched, and then it was matched. But to me, what I hear in there too is that energy that you possess and you put out. It attracts these different things that just happen. We talk about orchestrating and what the universe does, but you did that, and someone just said, what you got? All right, I got it. That was energy out there. But what do you think that is? Because we deal with that in our industries, in film too. It's deep. A lot of people don't understand this. I don't care what part of the entertainment industry you're in, you're going to deal with all different types of people and things. You just, like you said, had your mindset with these individuals, and all of a sudden it was just as left. What do you feel like some type of jealousy or intimidation or what have you? Did you feel anything, or did your mindset was, I don't really have time to put time into what it is, or just go? What was it?
Yeah, so my philosophy is, if I can change it, I will. If I can't, fuck it. I couldn't change their mind. I didn't want to change their mind. I was going to move forward. And that's why I have a team, right? That's why I have a team. I called them up, tell them what it was, and it was like, yo, let's do it ourselves. So yeah, I don't really have time for why someone said no or why someone said not now. Okay, cool. If I want to do it now, I'm gonna do it regardless. Yes. And I think with someone like G, when people see that you ain't really, like, you're not begging, or you don't need it, like you're doing it on your own,
or you're not broken.
You're not broken. Those people, they want to rock with you. And I think that's what that was in that conversation with me and G. Like, we talked about everything that had happened, and he said, "You still gonna do it anyway?" I said, "Yes, I'm gonna use my own money." He said, "Your own money? You're like, what? Like, you work at a bank? Like, you got money to do a film?" No, I'm good. My team and I are gonna put up our own money, and we're gonna do it. And that's all happened. He's like, all right, what you need? I was like, wait, what? I want to do it with you. How much you need?
No, I agree with you.
So I think it's that. I tell people a lot of times too, when they come to me, oh, I want to get this to an investor. And my first question is,
are you investing
yourself?
How much
of your own money are you putting in? I didn't put anything in. And I said, so why the fuck would I put my money in you then?
Right. Why would anybody think? Absolutely. I was just about to say that as you were saying. I think what it was when he heard what you were going to do and sacrifice for yourself. That's what people got to understand. Return on investment. We're all looking for that. If I'm going to invest anything, time, money, I don't care what it is, talent, there's got to be some type of return on it. And I can't even begin to think about how to measure that return if whoever and whatever I'm investing in is not even investing in itself. How do I trust that? When you want people to spew into you, you have to give them something to hold on to measure, because if it's just nothing, you want people to just go completely blind in something, just say, believe in me, because I said, believe in me. That's just not how it works. But the first thing you can do is just invest and believe in yourself first. Because people want to say, why should I believe in you when you don't believe in you? Why should I invest in you when you don't invest in you? That's the first thing you can at least do, no matter how big or small it is. So that's what I'm hearing. Oh man. All right. So you was there. So let's jump up to so that was the 2016. So let's so much in between. And before I get to, because you as the artist, but you are also serving the people, you are also helping the people. But before we get there, I do want to skip to like the projects now. I know you did something with the Black Mafia family with a story of Miles. You did that, or is that still in production? How did you?
It's out.
That's already out.
Out.
Wait. That's on Amazon?
It's been out since 2020.
Oh gosh.
But we put ours out before Stars put out the BMF story.
Yeah, because that was on Amazon. I think I looked.
Yep, it's on Amazon.
And that had millions of views. Okay, wait, let me back up. Yeah, because that garnered millions of views as well.
Yeah, so, first film to hit 10 million views.
What?
Yeah.
Congrats.
Yeah. Thanks.
Congrats. And it's huge to say that, because I have a few individuals that I deal with that don't want to deal with the Amazon, right? And it's people have their different reasons, because a lot of times if you deal with Amazon, you're doing most of the work, right? So it depends on what you're trying to do with the content you have. Are you trying to sell it? Are you trying to license it? Are you trying to continue to put the work into it? So it depends on what you're trying to do, what platform you to exercise. But still, I still do say, Shaun, and you can give me your opinion, when you have more options, then you can make more options and decisions. But until you have them, you have to see what doors are open to create a situation to have more options, to create more keys. And yes, Amazon may be more work, but it will be the work that actually pays off, because we have the Netflix are changing. The relationships that I have, the way it was moving, it changed from the pandemic.
They absolutely did.
Because everybody, we talk about bottom line, everyone wants to protect their bottom line. And if I'm going to invest in anything, I have to have some insurances. So you start moving towards, all right, I'm going to go towards these names, these actors, these whatever that done stuff, whatever it is that I feel a little more security on top of. Yeah, you may start it out indie friendly, but people got their strategies when they grow and they blow up, which way they're trying to move to. So I tell people, you got to pay attention and read the room on what's going on, and you have to play the field the way you need to play it. So let me talk about that. You use the Amazon, you use YouTube, you use so many platforms.
Because we were like, so I tell everybody, like, I just try shit. Let's do it and figure and see what happens. And if it works, we stick with it, we build on it. If it doesn't work, we'll skate. So when it came to Amazon, we was like, let's try it out. When it came to Tubi, before Tubi was like big, we put the plug on Tubi. And with the help of a company called Film Hub, right?
Yeah.
And it worked for us. It worked, right? And this thing, like, you know, we spent, and this is not to brag, but it's to show people what happens when you bet on yourself and you just go fearlessly. We spent $15,000 on the plug, made 200. We spent $25,000 on the documentary. We're up to 150. Right, on Amazon and Tubi. We didn't shoot for Netflix. We didn't shoot for Hulu. We shot for what can we obtain right now, and let's try it out and see what happens. And the people resonated with our content. It was good quality. It was good story. It looked well. It didn't have a bunch of stars in it. It did. It had local people who's been rocking with me since I started. I put those people in these films. So as I started to decline, I started to keep the people with me that was rocking with me for free. Well, now I can pay you. Let's do this, right? So yeah, we just tried it. We did get an offer from Netflix. It was for like $25,000, and it was like, that's our budget. And it was like, well, I didn't take it because it was an exclusive deal, which means I couldn't put it on any other platform.
Oh yeah,
for like 5 years, and I was like, no. So my partner and I were talking like, yo, it's Netflix, like having a film on Netflix could do so much for you. But we were like, if the goal is to do more films, we need to make the most money we can. So if I can go to Amazon and Tubi and Vudu and Urban Flex and YouTube and collect money from all these platforms, that made more sense for us, for what we were trying to do. And it worked. And I'm still rocking with them today. Like you know, my next film will go to Amazon and Tubi and whatnot.
Absolutely. And that's what would remind me of is just like with athletes, you feel you don't make you haven't made it unless you signed. It's like you have all this talent, you're breaking records, you accomplish all these great things, but I have to sign. That's the big thing. I need to sign. And that's what remind me of when I'm talking to my clients in film. It's like if I'm not on certain platforms, I didn't sign. If I do these other platforms, it's not showing I made it. No, you have to make it. I don't care what platform you're gonna get on anyway, because like you just said with Netflix, with these deals and things that I talk about with people, you don't know what they're offering and how they're making you feel as a person, as if you made it. You just want to attach yourself to a name that society perceives as, ooh, that's big. But what's ooh and big is what you put out, and the community adapts, it draws to, and it makes an impact. Because guess what? All the other people will eventually come chasing you. Control what you can control. Like you just said, I just need to go out there and see what's going to stick, what's going to work. And I need to see where I can be met at right now. And another thing that you brought up real quickly is, like you said, that worked for you. You knew why you were saying no, because you're right. For some people, the 25, that could have been yes, because maybe that was chess to get just on that platform. Like I think about Halle Berry, where I know she must have possibly did this deal when she just did the boxing situation, but you can tell there was some type of negotiation, depending on the success and the numbers, that you come back in, is going to be this other partnership. And it's the same thing with was it Squid Games?
Squid Game, yep.
So that gentleman made pretty much nothing. I mean, Netflix made billions and he made nothing. But guess what? The second time around, it's totally different. Hopefully, if he looked at
he has 3 other films on Amazon, I mean on Netflix, that are fire.
That are right. And so hopefully he's negotiating differently. And then Manifest. Manifest was one of those things you kick up. And I found that whole Manifest. I was one of those Manifest people like tweeting and put on there. But now when they came back, they were able to negotiate. Thank goodness it happened the way it happened, because if they did pick it up, they wouldn't have had the ownership, the things, just the opportunity to negotiate the way they negotiated. So by saying yes, sometimes it is a sacrifice. You may accept something monetarily a certain way, but it opens up something for you that can help you in a very wealthy way. But you knew, but the thing is, you have to know your thing to know if this is going to work for that thing. So that's what you did. So let's talk about really quickly. Ooh, time going so fast with you. So now this is you as a creative, but you also step out and you assist people. You have the writer's room. Can you talk about what that is and why you decided to do that, especially with so much you have going on as a writer?
Because I really think that you have to pour into people, right? You have to be of service to people. Sorry. Yeah, I'm big on pouring into people and being of service and helping someone else come up. Someone helped me. Sharon helped me. Alicia Kowser helped me. Kulanda Moore helped me. G helped me, right? So it's like it's my responsibility to help someone else get to where I'm getting or further, right? So I had no intentions to teach. I met a woman named AZ Yemen, and she had a writers collective called Bridge 17, where she was teaching folks how to write. So I started going there, and I kind of like stood out. So we started teaching together. Like some relationships, nothing lasts forever. So we separated, and I started my own writers room collective. And what that is that I literally teach people the art and the respect of storytelling. Like you have to respect this art form, and you have to love it. And I teach it in a way that where when you leave me, you're ready for Hollywood. So right now I have 3 former writers. 2 of them are writing on the BMF series. One of them is writing on an Amazon film. So those are some, and one has a film in Sundance this year, all from my writers room, right? I'm the first of its kind in Atlanta. So every Thursday night, 7 o'clock, until whenever we decide finish. It is an intense course. It's damn near free. I started off charging people $3 a month because it wasn't about to make money. It was to make sure that the Black stories and the Black films that are coming out of Atlanta are the best they can be, because that is our representation. So yeah, that's the writer's room.
So is this like a true labor of love then? Even though it's not about the money, do you at least do some type of deals with the ones that come through that go on to other things? Or do you like, you come through here and my blessing, my thing is to see you absolutely flourish. There's nothing else once they come through and go through.
Yeah,
wow.
Come through and be successful, go off, just mention my name, whenever you talk about your journey. That's it. That's it.
Wow.
And I learned that from Master P. He said when he signed Snoop, any artist, he said they wanted to go, they can go. He never attached anything to them. So it is a labor of love for me. I will Rick Ross said, it's not about how successful you get, it's about how many other people you make successful. Right? That's my legacy. How many people I'm able to help become successful and live their dream of being a full-time writer or full-time filmmaker. So yeah, it's a labor of love. I freaking love it. I don't miss a Thursday. I will leave set on Thursday nights to teach class. Thursday, I gotta be out there by 7, y'all. I got class.
Gotta go. But that's all part of you. That's a bunch of Shaun's throughout the world. Like that's a bunch of your energy. If you could sit back when you just completely walk away from all of it, when you watch all that, it's all a part of you. And it's only but so much we can do as an individual, our gift, whatever that capacity is to do. But what's bigger to do is to expand. And the only way we can expand is by touching different people. And all of that is a piece of us. So help me understand. So you have the writer's room. We talk about Laconic Productions, but you have the Outspoken Films. Is that the old one? Is that what is okay? So Laconic is now
no. Laconic
is old. Anti-hero is what is the last standing?
Anti-hero. Yes.
All right. So it's Anti-hero, and the writer's room, is that under Anti-hero, or is that something that's Anti-hero is just all about the productions in the film, and then the writer's room, is that with the nonprofit, or is the nonprofit done?
Nonprofit is separate. So it's Anti-hero's production, the writer's room is writing, and the nonprofit is the nonprofit. All separate.
You're moving. Wow. So what do you say Anti-hero like sets itself apart when you think about your production company? And we're now in Atlanta, like you said, because I don't know, we might start being the NBA or something now too. We know,
we might be.
Listen, with the way things are moving, I know we have a little kind of pause because of what happened, but we were really taking on traction and literally had LA on the radar. It was like, okay, we're gonna come in here now, and this is about to be the Final Four or something. But what is it amongst you're in an industry that's saturated, and a lot of people think about that a lot. While I'm in here, I need to set myself apart. That's what they should be thinking. What did you think when you dropped your production company? Is there anything that set you apart, or what was you thinking?
What sets us apart is that we do things unconventional, right? People think that there's a blueprint in Hollywood to get here. No, it isn't. I do, as my daughter in the background, I do, excuse my French, I do whatever the fuck I want, how I want to do it, because it works for me. I don't follow the mold, right? The anti-hero in a movie is sometimes perceived as the villain, but he's not. The anti-hero wants to do the right thing, has a valid reason for doing it, but does it in an unconventional way, or in a way opposed that society says, don't do it that way. It's the same old, you guys can protest, but don't protest at a football game. I'm gonna protest where I want to. That's the anti-hero, right? Colin Kaepernick is the anti-hero.
But actually where the name came from, you already, go ahead.
So like it embodies me as a person and embodies the way we run the company. We're gonna do this the way we want to do it, and fuck that mold that you said that we gotta do because we're successful this way. Yes. And that's why it came from. And tattooed it on my hands.
Listen, you just said a whole word. That is the thing. I first of all, I'm on that train with you because unconventional is the only way I can do it. Not because I try to come out and just be a rebel, just because I study that blueprint of how you say things are supposed to be done, and it does not fit my mold. It doesn't fit the outcome, whatever that may be, I don't attach myself to a specific outcome, but I know the general outcome is to bust down doors, reinvent, and blaze trails. There's no way I can do that following some blueprint you told me. That's not even in me. I have to reinvent everything I think and feel in order to fit this mold. So it's already just naturally by what I do unconventional, just because I'm doing it. So do you help in your production? Is it from conception to completion? Is it certain parts? What do the production company offer?
We offer everything.
Service-wise.
From conception to completion. Or sometimes you just want a team to come in and shoot it, we'll do that. Sometimes you just want a director, we'll do that. Sometimes you want just script coverage, we'll do that. So it all depends on what the client needs, but there's nothing that we can't do.
So it's like a la carte. It's either you get the whole full shebang, or you can come a la carte. We have these specialized things so I think that alone too is one of the things that help, set it apart, because a lot of production companies I have to deal with, just even with my clients, it's just this or that. You have to shop around a lot because there's not this one-stop shop. Right? It's like, nope, I'm not here yet, so I can't do that. Or I'm not here yet, so can't do that. But it sounds like to me, when you're talking about anti-hero, is where are you at? Just tell us. Let's sit down and talk about this, because we got it for wherever you at.
Exactly. If you want, we have different directors for different tiers. If someone can't afford me, they might, hey, take ELLAkisha, right? Or take, Caroline, who we're training up to be. Or if you want a DP, well, Mike's this rate, Justin's this rate, and someone's this rate. So it's all about where you are, but the quality is going to still be the same, no matter what you're, no matter what you're paying. It's all about where you are in your project or what you can do.
Gotcha. I have one more question since our time is. I have one question that I want you to give me. After my question, I want you to give me, if there was something that, that one thing, although it may be hard, that one thing, if you can tell people within your field, what would that be? And then I also want to know, if you were a superhero and you can change anything, what would that be? But before I get there, let's go there. Let's just go to those questions. If you can tell individuals, because you on a service side, because the comment I was about to make is along this line, but I'm not even gonna make the comment. I want you to say what is it that you want to tell them to possibly help them find that path.
What I want to say is that you have to love the craft first and foremost. You have to love it. You can't say, I want to do it because I see so-and-so making money, or I see so-and-so getting this status. You have to love what we do, because it is a what have you done for me lately thing. It takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of money. So you have to love it and respect it first. And you have to educate yourself first. Everything else good will happen once you do those things. And once you get to a level that you want to be at, you have to be of service to other people. Not everybody. And that's the hard part. You can't help everybody. But when I sit down with someone and I talk to them, and I have a bunch of questions that I ask, to where I decide if I would work with someone or if I would mentor someone. But you have to make yourself available to be of service.
So what do we need to do? We're doing great, but what do we need to do better then? So if you say that, is there anything that you see from dealing with people and being in service? Is there something that we need to look at and start to rethink and do better?
Yeah, we have to be originals.
Okay.
You know how many times I meet female writers that say, I want to do it like Issa Rae. And I always tell them, when Issa Rae did it, she wasn't doing it like anybody else.
Period.
And that's why it worked for her.
Period.
And now we're almost 20 years since then, or 15 years since Issa Rae came out. Things have changed. So I think we need to be individuals better and find our individual paths. You can be inspired. So I was like, okay, I'm inspired by the Tyler Perry way of how he puts out so much content, but I'm going to do it my way, right? It's the innovation, right?
Right.
Is the invention, the flat screen is the innovation. So in my mind, Tyler Perry he did it this way. Now I'm going to innovate what he did and make it and do it and find a way to do it my way. So I think we have to learn especially here in Atlanta, is to be individuals and find your individual path and not trying to do it like someone before you, because everyone before you did it unconventionally. They did what, when Issa Rae did it, there were no Black web series on YouTube, right? So she did it, she could have easily said, I gotta go to LA and I gotta do this, I gotta do that. And like, no, she did it her way. So we have to be individuals and find out what path works for us, and then not to look at other people and think you're in competition with them. This person is 35, I should be doing what they're doing. I should be here. No, because everyone's path and journey is different. So don't compare yourself to other people.
That's it. That was a whole word. And you're right. And whoever you are, who's inspiring you, that means you should be studying that person. If you study that person, you will learn that they didn't do the thing that you're saying you're trying to do. So you're not even doing what they're doing if they inspired you. So you're right. All right. So if you were a superhero, that last thing, you was that superhero that your superpower is to change anything in this world, in your industry, doesn't matter. What would you choose? Because you could change anything. What would that thing be?
I could change anything if I was a superhero. Racism. I would get rid of racism. I think there is enough space for everybody. There's enough space for everybody to live comfortably in capitalism. There's enough space and enough room for everybody to have everything that we want. It shouldn't be, well, first of all, we shouldn't hate anybody for any reason, right? So I want to get rid of that. But once you get rid of that, then everything becomes, fair, and you got, I got, right? It's the African practice of my I, right? If I got it, you got it. If you ain't got it, I ain't got it, right? So that's what I would change: racism and capitalism.
I love it. Well, it sounds like the isms, period. Like you say, you have the room to hate. So I can see right now the superhero. You got the circle, anti-ism, and then the X on the thing. I can see your superhero thing. I can see your whole get up that you turned into. So I love it. I thank you so much, Shaun. This is going to be so much food for individuals. And we always say too, as parents, sometimes we'll say things over and over to our kids and they hear it from someone else. And it's like, I got it. What? I've been saying that. So this is a good thing with the conversation. Elevate is, even sometimes I try to spew things. It's great to hear it from someone else, but it's also great to hear it from someone else that's doing it. So some people might be like, okay, you saying that, you're just telling me, but I love your story is magnificent. And that's just from 1 hour, almost 1 hour of it. And so when people see your glory, that's why you have to understand that in-depth story, in that I wrote down all the different things. I'm highlighting this one for all the key points. You told colorful stories that talked about, from teen to education, to business, to family, to resiliency, to patience, to everything. And that's what it takes. And you're going to still have that within your journey. I wish you so much more. I'm gonna have to wish it. I'm grateful for you. I'm sending out gratitude for what is to come and what you're going to continue to contribute to our existence. Kudos to that. Kudos to your daughter who's now in art and all that great stuff. So I thank you. I appreciate you so much.
Thank you. It was a pleasure. Honestly, I never know how to take these things. When people want to talk to me and just everything. That's the thing I had to work on with me, is receiving the love that you're giving to me. I'm not even looking at the cameras. I don't even know what to do now. It's I'm still not used to it. I have to work on receiving it because in my mind it's all right, on to the next thing, on to the next thing, on to the next thing. We had a movie come out. I wrote a film that hit theaters January 14. People were like, how do you feel? And I was like, about what? So we got a movie in theaters. So I'm working on the next one. What are you talking about? So I have a hard time living in those moments and receiving that stuff, because I can just keep going. So thank you. Thank you.
And we gotta receive it. You have to receive. You have to
on it.
Accept your flowers from other people, but also see the flowers that you do have. And a lot of us who are achievers, that does happen to us. It's like I was just doing a sit down with somebody else, and I told them it was a newspaper article that was written about a young lady that made me realize what I had accomplished. I didn't know I had made history in the SEC conference, the Southeastern Conference, by being the first female to win the 100 hurdles and the 400 hurdles at an SEC championship. I just did it and kept going. Did it, went to nationals. It took eons later to read a newspaper article that says such and such broke the record that ELLAkisha Williamson did at this time. I'm like, I did what? So we had to, and I had to go back and look. So we do have to see what we're pouring out because it's pouring through us. So what we're doing is giving reverence to that thing that's deciding to actually use us. So we need to respect that, give gratitude, and spend some time in it, and then move as well. So yes, please do receive. Please.
I'm working on it.
All right. And so we're going to end there. I hope that you are all full. You better start exercising because I know this was a full meal that you ate right here. So until next time, we'll see you on Conversate and Elevate.